You feel blobby?
I feel like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. Welcome to Happening Sounds. And today, the question is, in 2020, how do you own and operate a record label?
Okay, well, it all depends what you want to do. There are record labels that do the whole digital thing, where they don't put out anything. They don't put out any physical media. They basically have a Bandcamp. They run the DistroKid and cover the basis for Spotify, iMusic, Apple. I don't know. I don't use this stuff. But all the digital distribution sources, all the streaming platforms, all that stuff. So, I mean, there is work that goes into keeping track of how many streams you get. It's really, really cheap to pay out because there's not much money to be made in streaming unless you're a big-time artist. The bigger you are, obviously, making physical media, you can get a way larger cut. Vinyl is king right now. People want to buy the record with the big artwork. It's expensive to produce, but if you're going to sell it, you're going to make your money back. CDs are kind of making a weird comeback. They've always been the #1 seller. They're cheap to produce. Just a lot of people don't want them. And then cassettes are also dirt cheap. A lot of times it's just the artifact with a download code, but it's having something physical as opposed to nothing. I mean, digital downloads are digital downloads. A lot of people are preferring them now, or preferring to have their album collections in an account that's not even, it's ephemeral, it's not a real thing. So depending on what kind of record label you want to run, it's always going to be time and varying degree of money.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the key. So
it's money, yeah.
it's money, right?
Yeah.
So when you took those baby steps yourself, starting a label, how did that come about? How did you approach that?
I had, at the time, 0 debt on my credit card. I had been bothering the first band that I released for 14 years to do a singles collection, and after 14 years, the main guy said yes. But there was no real plan in place. So it was like, fine, you want to do it, have at her, and I had no credit card debt. I talked to friends who had done it for decades, Chris Jakes, Lee Repko, Dub Ditch Picnic, No List Records, they will come up. They have a ton of stock on hand if you want to boost your collection. I talked to those guys. There's people in Winnipeg who act as the middle person for getting stuff pressed, for CDs and cassettes anyway. And that was that. If you don't have the skills or the wherewithal to do something, there's somebody out there who you can pay to do it. So it's just more money. It's just more money. You have to have a vision. You have to have like what you want. Communications obviously key. I dealt with a band that was. The end result was wonderful. Getting to that point was kind of like pulling teeth without an anesthetic. Worth it in the end. I have a beautiful smile to show for it, but my Christ, it took a lot of I don't want to, blood, sweat, and tears. Lots of tears.
Well, this is an interesting point because we're at a time when music stores themselves seem to be closing down in vast amounts. So is it a crazy thing to start a record label in 2020? And if you were to do it, what's the way to avoid it being a money pit?
Put out a band that is either going to tour behind it and do their side of it. Get lucky enough to release a band that already has a following. Like if I put out an Acid Mothers Temple CD, I know that I can press it 500 or 1,000, announce that there's a limited run, brand new Acid Mothers album, and it's going to sell. They have one of those followings that happens. Yeah, make sure that they're going to believe in it, because if you don't believe in it fully, you're not going to feel like promoting it. You're not going to feel like advertising it, pushing it onto people. I want to be able to come up to you and say, have you heard this band that I've done? Buy it. And if you're like, I'm not really into hardcore, I don't care. Like, you have to believe in it so much that you can get past the initial blockade of I don't want to get this thing. You have to want it. A tough thing to do is say no to people, because there are musician friends who say, hey, we have an album ready, put it out. Sweet. How many shows are you going to play a month? Are you going to tour? What's your social media following? Like, how are you going to get this out there? Why am I going to sink $2,000 into you if you don't even believe enough in yourself?
But generally, with your label, you've been more of a reissue.
Yeah, I've been doing reissues of stuff that I think people wanted to see. There's, one thing that I thought was going to be super great, and I am sitting on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of copies that I will blow out or give away if people want them. But the other 3 have made the money back for the label.
Because their legacy, their past legacy has served as their promo.
Yeah, and one of them is still playing shows, mostly in Alberta, but they'll still go into the States. They've been flown out to the States in the last 5 years several times to, headline festivals in Nashville, and they played in LA. But yeah, they've got that 30-plus year clout. The 2 punk bands, one of them has played punk rock bowling twice. They're legacy acts. So there's stuff that people want to see. Also, you've got to give people a reason to want to buy something. So either interesting packaging, like a fat booklet. I mean, vinyl kind of sells itself. You can't be greedy because who wants to pay $50 for an LP? But you just got to make a nice package. There's always going to be people who want physical media. And I think going forward with the record label, keep your pressing numbers relatively low. If you sell out, you can always press more. If you know you can break even and you're okay and have the space to sit on stuff, go for the bulk deal. But otherwise, press 300. Sell it out, double your cash, put half of that back into a second pressing, change it up a little bit because there's people who see a variant and they want it. There's bands that put out a new album and there's 5 vinyl color variants or sleeve variants. The vinyl's identical, but they just paid even less money for a new sleeve, and people are like, I need them all. And they buy them all. And it's stupid because they're only listening to the download code, but they have all 5 colored sleeves on their shelf as a display, kind of like a trophy.
In your view,
Yeah.
how many products should you currently have as current things that you're planning on releasing? Like, is it possible to have too many irons in the fire, and how do you sort of organize that?
I think it depends who you are. I can't afford it. I haven't released anything in over a year. I just don't have anything on the horizon right now, and my interests are elsewhere. I don't think that I think diversifying is fine. Like, there's labels that are thriving right now. Like Third Man Records is a huge one, and he's putting stuff out all the time. Burger Records was popping out cassettes at a ridiculous pace, but they could. They had their own duplication system. Tapes are cheap to produce, and they could just whip them off. And if you don't like the Dodos or the drums, you can always buy the OCs or Ty Segall or King Gizzard or whatever the hell they're putting out on Burger. Like it all depends on how much money you have, who owns the line of production. If you're pressing your own cassettes and you have a line on how to get them bulk and cheap, it's like printing money.
Would you bother releasing cassettes?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Totally.
Yeah?
Yeah, if I got my tape duplicator running, I would totally put out cassettes.
Okay.
Because all I'd have to do is just print up the J cards. No, I'd release anything. It's one of those things where when I was just a consumer, I only wanted CDs. If I had to get vinyl or cassette, then sure. Or if the cassette or record had a wicked packaging shtick, I'd be on that too. But as a record label, you kind of just want things out with your name on them, regardless of format. As stupid as they are, like even though, like I have the music already, but if someone's like, I want it on reel to reel, and I had a way to make 50 reels, I would do it because it would still have sounds escaping on it, and it would still potentially make me money, and there are 50 more artifacts that carry my legacy out there in the world. So yeah, I'll put out anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What are some of the pitfalls that you've been very conscious to avoid?
The friend or acquaintance thing where my buddy's got a band, or my buddy doesn't have a band, but he's the best of this instrument player. If you put him out, he will get noticed. Well, if he's that great, he should have been noticed already, and people should be clamoring for something. And there's people who do all the talking, and then there's people who do the doing. There's people who, a lot of the people who do the talking are the people who have all these ideas that they want to put their money where their mouth is. And I mean, ideals are great, but as soon as you start actually executing them, then that's when I'll start respecting your your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never had an iron in the fire, then I can't.
You can't fire up this.
What do you like? It's like, what do you know? In your perfect world, this is exactly how it would work. Yeah, in my perfect world, all of my albums would have sold out already, and I'd be farting on a pile of cash. But it hasn't happened. I got a basement full of CDs, and I've got people who know who I am, I guess, and that's cool in Winnipeg. Yeah, just keep your numbers low unless you know you've got a sure thing. Be passionate about what you're doing, because if you're not, it's gonna fizzle and die. And have as much fun as you can.
As an owner of an independent music label, how do you promote yourself nowadays?
It's all about the social media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially with the bands that aren't really doing anything, you kind of have to find anything that you can kind of run with. Like when I was just telling you about the personality crisis graffiti in the movie Repo Man. I mean, I could have taken a screenshot from that and been like, hey, if it's good enough for Repo Man, it's good enough that you should buy the CD. It's not really topical right now, 'cause I haven't made a post in like over a year, so if I just put up this random thing, people would be scratching their heads. But yeah, when you got something current and going, you just push, make it interesting, because there's a lot of ads that I just scroll past when they look too polished. It's like, oh, someone's trying to sell me something, I don't give them.
And you're a punk rock label, so there's certain like trash aesthetic that goes along with that.
Yeah, but over the last few years, I've gotten better with Photoshop. So I still have a trash aesthetic, but it's
The polished trash.
It's a polished trash
aesthetic. Yeah.
But people stop. People slow down when they see something shiny and nice, but something looks out of place. Like, wait a second, did I just? And they double take, and then you get eyes on it. But social media is the best thing. There's a lot of. We've got a good community here in Winnipeg, and people want to help each other. I know Sam at Which Police offers their cheap advertising, and people do listen to him. But it's all about the DIY, man. And if you can get enough people doing the same thing, like if you can get everyone in the band and the label and the fan base, if you can just get everyone kind of coalescing and sharing the same post, and we can see how that reach just kind of fractals out. I mean, that's the first thing, and then everything else is kind of catching lightning in a bottle. If it works, it works. If the right person hears it and proliferates it to the world, then that would be the person who cracks the whole thing open. But in the end, you want to do things for yourself. Everything that I put out was because I wanted that in my collection. And 999 other people do as well, then I'm sitting happy, sitting pretty. But I do it for me. Like, it's not everything I've done for selfish reasons.
So for the viewer out there who's thinking about starting their own label, closing piece of advice.
Take calculated risks.
There you are.
Yeah, that's it.
You've been listening to Happening Sounds.